so simple when you see it that you cannot believe you didn't see it. It's the hidden shadows of the problem. They're the obstacles that are in the way that are blocking us. We are it already. It's true. We are it already. We cannot not be it. Those that don't know, it's quite simple what I'm talking about. It's very simple what I'm talking about. The complexity is what we've developed over the years, over the lifetimes and the eons of humanity. A bunch of ideas and belief systems that have separated us from reality. And we could summarize as the I thought, the separate me. And what I'm simply talking about is that may not be true, that there may not be a separation at all. We may actually all be the same thing, the one thing dancing in various experiences, which is directly experienceable. It's a realization, not an intellectual realization. It's quite a different thing that's quite hard to explain, but it's just a direct seeing that happens, just an unveiling, can we say, or a revelation, if we want to sound Christian for a minute. But it's not Christian either. And so it's just simply that the world of 10,000 things, if we want to use Lao Tzu's terminologies, you're intimately connected with it all. We're not independent from it all. So there's an intimacy with the 10,000 things and where it emanates from, or what it emanates from, and not you in that finagling and conspiring and surviving. And then the battle that goes with that, the life-consuming battle. It will take a large portion of your energy. So now if we swing to the Toltec system, and they talk about you have to regain all of your personal power, which means you don't go wasted in folly and just ignorance. You have to retain all your personal power to shatter the illusion. It's the way they point it. So they're pointing it from the opposite direction, saying the same thing. And that comes in by the inward gaze, coming back inwards to ourselves, and not being obsessed with the world and the its machinations. So again, it's very simple. That realization is extremely simple. It's so simple when you see it that you cannot believe you didn't see it. It's just ridiculous. You laugh at yourself. You feel so stupid. You feel wonderful but stupid at the same time. It's right there the whole time. Right there the whole time. Closer than close. And it was just... So if we go to David Hawkins' work, he talks about it, realities. The mind is 1/10 of a thousandth of a second behind reality. And that's what I mean. It's that close. And it's just, it is so close. It's just the mind is interfering and overriding everything like a computer script. And if that drops away, it's just pure reality is here now. Reality appears. But we all have these moments of here now awareness. There's no doubting that, right? We all have moments of quietness and clarity and we feel good in it and all the rest of it. Why doesn't it stay? It's because of our addictions. Our addictions to thoughts, our addictions to form, to emotions, to following feelings, procreating, reproducing, etc., etc., etc. On it goes, and they override our stillness and our peace. Now, you can also play in the world with this, absolutely, and you're going to play better than you've ever played in it. Because it'll be happening from a non-grasping, non-averting space. So what I'm talking about is, and now we swing to Buddhism, is what Buddha said is, the problem is craving and aversion. That's it. If that drops away, if we're able to work our way to letting that drop away, cultivating the ground for that to become an ongoing reality, a different reality appears. Reality appears. I mean, I say a different reality because everyone's sure of their reality. That's the problem. Everyone's so confident in their own mind that it becomes a reality, but it's not. That's the point. It's a personal reality, which isn't ultimately true because it's not uniform between everything. So the only thing that can be true, if we want to use logic, is something that has no opposite. Does that make sense? If something has an opposite, there's a dance of duality happening. So it has to be non-oppositeless. So how many oppositeless things can there be? One. Just pure and simple. It's very simple in its essence. And sometimes our effort towards it pushes us away from it, but there's also this other reality of the fact that if absolutely no effort's made, you can find it. But the trouble is there absolutely no effort being made, because we have so many things ticking inside us, so many shadows moving, subtly and silently moving, vibrating through our system. Is what you think is rest and doing nothing actually resting and doing nothing? Or is it something and you just don't know about it? That's the problem, see? So there's lots of teachings, or, don't ever do anything and you'll wake up. There's no evidence for it, or extremely little. So just a little bit of effort into cultivating the ground, and at some point you can be effortless, because you've practiced, you've stilled yourself. Your mind has become quiet. Your mind can stay quiet. It's not just becoming quiet when everything's going well. Your mind is quiet under pressure. It's not just when things are going well. It's when things aren't going well, you're still quiet. You can still stay still. Because that's what robs everybody of this space I'm talking about. Is it's not that hard to find it. With a teacher, you can find it quite quickly. And they can show you, but the trouble is, I've discovered by showing lots of people, is that doesn't actually work, because the ego grabs hold of it. Because they're not ready for it. They're not ready. They get it and they throw it away. And then what's even worse, they go, oh, I've got this. This is easy. And then they walk off deluded. This is a problem. This is what the ego does. It's very sneaky. And so coming back to this, just the ability to stay simple and let that be the primordial movement of your life until you don't see you anymore. So it's all it's the hidden shadows, the problem. They're the obstacles that are in the way, that are blocking us. We are it already. It's true. It's true. We are it already. We cannot not be it. But we cannot deny what's holding us from it. We have to go and observe and look and open that up. For most people anyway, there's the rare beings that can just fall in. And very well advertised and documented. Extremely well known. But extremely rare too. I must have to do a bit more work than that. And the work, you have to make the work joyful and fun as you can. And enjoy life in the process. Is the way I see it, because this is an interactive space here. This is consciousness playing with itself. Let's have fun. It doesn't have to be miserable. There's no need for it. It doesn't have to be sour. It can be sweet. It can be fun. I think Osho said it well. He says, if your spirituality is serious, you might have, paraphrasing, you've probably got it wrong. If it's too serious, you've probably got it wrong. Taking things way too seriously. Your natural essence is buoyant and vibrant and alive. Why would it be miserable? Why would your practice be miserable? Why should it be sour? And who wants to keep doing sour things? We want to enjoy the adventure. Even if we don't fall into that space that we are in, that direct knowing, at least we had a wonderful life and we did progress. And we're happier and freer and kinder. Truer. So there's no losing. So that's my view, of course. Everyone's welcome to their view. That's what I realized at some point. This is the for me, it became clear at some point this is the only way. That arises or it doesn't. How does that arise? You start walking in that direction, or you start, which is really a here now direction, an inward direction, but we're walking in that direction on the path. It isn't over there. It's in you. It's your core essence. It's from the heart spaces where you're going to discover it, and that's the doorway. So it's actually returning to the heart, coming back out of the mind and back into the heart. Is the process. So I say to people sometimes when they're too far in there, take your head off, visualize your head coming off, and drop it in your heart. Don't let it speak from anywhere but the heart, and almost everything will shut up. There'll be not much to say. So I think I've covered enough of the terrain in this. We have a short time here, so I won't babble on too much. Let's see if there's any questions. I think would be a better way to go at this point. Do we have any questions? That's the question. What is the question? Do you have a question? No? You have to see. It suggests that you're in a certain bandwidth of the world and seeing the world. You're running from a mere materialistic viewpoint. And you're thinking, somewhere in you, you're thinking, if I have this success and I have lots of employees and I make lots of money and I get my car and I get my girl and I get my house and I get all these things, everything's going to be okay. And so you've got this sort of elevated at a very high status. And for most of the world, that's how you get rewarded. That's where you're going to get your juice. Other people look at you as you drive by in your nice car and your nice house and your nice girlfriend. Everything's going well for you. What a winner. Look at that winner go by. But then quite often, well, usually jealousy just arises in them. Well, I want that. He must have cheated. He must have robbed somebody. Probably doesn't. He's probably not happy. Definitely not as spiritual as me. I've sacrificed that for my spiritual will. But the point is that you're treating it like an object, basically. It's like you said it in the question. You're treating it like an object. Really, it's the prior from all that. That none of these things you're talking about exists without the essence prior to what even the form here. The gap between you and I is full. You're full. Everything's full. It's called emptiness, but it's actually an experience of fullness. Everything's intimately alive. And so you're only going to have life if you achieve all these goals. But when you get there, let's say it's 5 years away, you get there. For 5 years, you've wired yourself into the future. So when you get to that future point, well, that's the way you're wired. Into the future, you go again. You don't just turn that off. Does that make sense? Because you've elevated it too high. Well, probably it's what happens to a lot of people that are successful in the world. Oh, I'll get to the paradise island, palm trees, margaritas, and they get there. And you see this all the time. In days they're bored. This is insane. I need to go start another company. Why? They're wired that way. They haven't detuned themselves. They haven't untangled their needs, their craving and aversions. So my experience was I'd achieve sometimes I didn't achieve them, but I'd achieve certain goals and get there. And it was like the reward moment of, yay, with numbers in the bank or whatever it was just so short-lived. It was so short-lived. I was going, oh my gosh, I put so much energy into this. This is nothing like what I thought it was going to be. And that happened a few times. And I was going, well, I can't just keep doing this. This takes a long time to achieve. No, I'm still here. This is still here. This unhappiness, this hole inside, this, the I is still here. No, it didn't change that, didn't fix that. And there's science on it too, like after your needs are met, your shelter, your studies on it, your shelter and all your basic needs are met, the happiness levels don't change much. Very little. Do you know what I mean? As in just, you can rest. Yeah, we have enough. I have enough. I'm okay to get by now. After that, it's minuscule and often goes the other way with all the pressure of maintaining empires. So these were interesting facts to find out too, for me. It's like, okay, well, I don't have to go work that, or I sort of did. I tripped over myself a few times to work it out. But there was evidence there, so it's just really looking at the evidence too and wanting to see it, not wanting to do what your patterns are telling you to do. That's kind of hard. I found it hard anyway. All this evidence is here, but there was this overriding thing in me that just had to drive forth. And that's just how it is sometimes. You might be hearing words going, this all makes sense, this is great, but your patterns are going to take control and just run the show anyway. Until they don't. And how does that happen? You get older and wiser and make all the mistakes, or you develop a skill set of actually seeing what's working, what's not for others, what's being said, and hear it properly, and then take it on board, or you don't. Look into the future. You can see people that are doing what you're doing in the future and see where they're at. Try and find one that's really happy and at rest and at peace and even knows what they are. See if you can find any. If you can't, well, what are the odds of you doing that? Do you know what I mean? That's what I did with engineering. I was looking at the old engineers and going, God, they're alcoholics, they're miserable. Why? Why would I want to do that? I couldn't find any of them that were like worthy of being a hero, can you say? Not broken, miserable. So that was one of mine. Okay, well, I'm not going to do that. I'll use this to make enough money to open up space to do what I want to do. So you can look into the future. You can look at it's right in front of you. You look into the past every time you look at a star. You look into the future by people that are doing what you're doing. Is there any more on that?
That's good, thank you.
Yeah. What a nice cup, huh? Well, it's a really big one, is because it is so obvious and so it can be very euphoric and so obvious that there's just so ridiculous the idea that this is gonna drop away again. It just seems so ridiculous because it's just so obvious, and in that assumption and that arrogance or ignorance, it almost always falls away. So it's remaining in beginner mind and just staying present and just don't make any assumptions like this. Just stay back, stay quiet. And if there's a teacher that's home, listen to them because they've been there and they've seen it all and they've met people and they've had students that have done it. And just listen to what they're saying and try and hear what they're saying and don't augment it into what you want to be hearing, which is really common too. People augment it, everything to suit whatever's going on for them and then pretend they're listening. But that's not listening. It's augmenting. There are a few examples of that. And over the years, and it's just that's skill set, and that comes with the trust of the teacher, the guide. They're there. They've already done all that. If you've never done that before, you're in unknown territory now. You're in the jungles now. Now what? Where are the swamps? Where are the poisonous snakes? You know, what do you need to watch out for? The world of 10,000 things gives you 10,000 things to trip over. Yeah, and there's only one sort of. It's the path is narrow. It really is, especially when you start opening up a bit. It's very narrow. Even getting close to it's narrow. And the real common one is people start feeling they're starting to feel a bit of a shining in them, you know, a light in them, and oh gosh, I really need a boyfriend or a girlfriend now. I've got this now, right? Where's my partner? That's really common too, the relationship thing. Because you feel wonderful, and what could go wrong? So there's lots of tropes, and for at least a while, you just got to stop everything and just be with what you found. Stay home. Don't let the world will wait. It'll be there. But if you don't do that, it may not be. You know, this might not be there, or it'll be there, but you can't see it anymore. It's gone again. It's hidden again because it's in everybody. It's just is it shining or not, or is it contained again? Is it back in its box? So for me, for months, I did as little as possible. Didn't engage in conversations much. Tried to stay as quiet. I walked around with my head down, just so I wouldn't get engaged. Just lived in the forest in a little caravan. No one could bother me. Went shopping at 8:01 when the shop opened. Got out of there again. I hermited for a little while. And that's what I did. That was the price. You don't get to do everything and hold this. It was my experience, maybe some that's my experience, until it permeates to such a strength and that it gets sort of locked in. But even then, you still just don't make any assumptions. It's beginner mind. That's what the Buddha taught. That's true. Beginner mind will get you there. One of the ways you'll get there, and it's the way you stay there to know you, metaphorically speaking. But this essence, this thing here, whatever this is. Yeah, your memory can be a lot worse, and there's lots of other side effects that happen, like stringing things off into the future gets harder and harder. But that's okay. You're free, you know. It doesn't matter. Things tend to work out, and other things happen because you couldn't organise into the future. So other things arise. So you've opened the door to life more instead of a lot of people are on these tight worldly schedules, and there's no gap for life to get in. Instead, not for them. Yeah. That's a really good one too. That's really common. So it can arise. You can have these satori's, these non-abiding experiences, and then it passes, and you want to go grab it and pull it back. And just like you had to let go there to remember what you're going to ask, the way is to let go again. Forget you even had it. Don't grasp. Don't grip. You know, like you weren't hunting for thought to drop back in. It's the same. You let go, rest, and that happened. It's not here now, which a lot of people have a problem with. So they keep pretending it's there. And but you know, to anyone that's sensitive, it's obvious they're not. Right? I get lots of people coming to me saying they're awake, and it's just where's the shining? And so it's just the complete let go, and not gripping onto the history, not letting go, because it can be really traumatic for people too, because what they can see in this experience is it's just so much more beautiful than what life had been. It's just off the charts. You didn't even know that life could be that beautiful. So then you see it and it goes. It can be a real tragedy. And, So the absolute let go is important at that stage. You just let go, really relax, 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 and maybe you want to recall what was happening before that event. Was there anything that was the way I was living? Was there anything happening? And if there wasn't, it was just spontaneous. Yeah. Sometimes you can be, maybe I was meditating a lot that week, or I was ultra de-stressed that week, or whatever it was, and you can sort of lean towards that. But just don't have any gripping going on. Don't have any gripping going on. It's gone now. That's how it is. And wishing for the past is now not the present, isn't it? And it only happens in the present. It only happens now. That very desire is a new desire to have that back. You can't. It happened because you weren't. You're here. And probably in silence. That being said, some people just spontaneously have no idea what this work is, just walk along and it happens to them. But it's quite problematic, and historically they'd be thrown in loony asylums because they're saying, I'm the cosmos. What are they saying? And, yeah, sure you are. Well, just be in this little padded cell. So it's not essential, but I mean, if you're doing this work, these are the ways. It doesn't happen in the future or the past. It's just absolutely spontaneous experience that happens. And it's outside of your control, really, but you can tidy the room up, just in case the emperor comes to visit or the empress. Because it's a yin. It's more of a female than a male. If you were to put a gender on it, so to speak, it's a complete let go and surrender. It's not a yang thing. It's a yin thing. It's a let go. It's a softness, not a hardness. It's the sweetest, softest thing. Yeah, you can, if you've been a lifelong sufferer of anxiety, which is worrying about the future, fear of the future, your fear of the future can drop away, but it doesn't mean the thought's going to stop right away, or even the sensation of it. But there'll be a witnessing of it. There'll be just, you'll be seeing it. You'll be behind it. It'll be like out in front of you, and it won't be you. And so it's much easier to deal with. Once you get behind things and you're back in the witness state, or level back, or the second attention. The first attention, everyone's running around following their thoughts, emotions, feelings, and just doing that without any consciousness, which is the majority of humanity most of the time. And this is the second attention where you start to witness and start to see the feelings arise, the emotions arise, the thoughts arise. And you're the witness. You're the witnesser of everything. That's what you actually are. You're not all the mechanics. You are too, but that's further out. It's here. It is something. So it's within the one, but it's not what you ultimately are. So there's levels of consciousness. Yeah. I mean, it's not like you've got thoughts here. You can't say, oh, they're not a part of reality, because reality is everything. So now you've got this reality plus one. It's just, are the thoughts real, or are they just dreaming, just inconsequential? Whereas silence is what you ultimately are. These are just weird apparitions, like the what do you call it when the road heats up, and like the mirage on the road. But we treat them as if they're real. Or if you use, like in India, the shimming on the peacock feathers or on the shell, we're all taking that as real. So once that you get behind things, it becomes less real or less solid. And then actually everything becomes less solid at some point. But that becomes less solid, so it has less grip on you. It's closing. So it has less control over you. You're freer. It's like a ship, like a ship going through, 30,000-ton ship going through the ocean turns off its engines. It's not like, oh, it's all over. It still has momentum, yeah? So our mind and our ego and our way of being in the world has momentum. Doesn't mean your personality is going to completely change. Just a lot of the buggy stuff disappears. You still have nuances in personality. Doesn't matter. But it'll still be the same ship shape, right? The ship will look the same, etc., etc. The engine type in there will be the same, Australian accent, whatever. You know what I mean? And yeah, so it's going to take a while for that to stop, but you'll know it's stopping. The engines are off. It's gone quiet, and you'll be hearing all these different sounds now, the water on the hull and everything, and the anxiety and whatever else will just be like that noise. It's just something that's not you. And at some point, the ship comes to rest. It's not like, and you'll still have yearnings for things that you've just done habitually for so long. Enjoyable things, but they're just, the actual substantial drive to do it isn't there, but the yearning to do it will be there. And it takes a while for those to die off too. So it's just an ongoing opening, really. Readjusting, the system's readjusting. There's a little bit of a mechanical thing to it, so as the shining arises, it draws in shadow, you see. Like if we want to look at it, this is actually the physical experience. There's a shining that happens in you and all the shadows in you start pulling in, so there can actually be discomfort and weird thoughts and all sorts of stuff go on. Because now you're emptying, instead of it coming from the teacher, it starts coming from within, so it's drawing everything out from within yourself. Like a big building getting burnt out from the inside and things start falling in. Beams start falling in, panels, roof bits falling. It's like that. Before, the teacher was the outside with the blowtorch, and you're getting in there and the door, But so then it's yours, then it becomes yours.
What are small but simple steps I can take towards enlightenment each day?
So, in the wording of that question, I know I will use that word, and we did it even for this, but really enlightenment is another story of the human mind, yeah? Just to be clear. So we use that word, but it's just so people can understand, differentiates it from people that are just doing self-help or doing X, Y, Z that aren't related to this. Just to give that differentiation, that's all it's for. So enlightenment, simple steps towards it is first recognize, you have to first recognize you're sleeping. Let's say another word for enlightenment would probably be better is no longer sleeping, or not sleeping, not slumbering in the I, in the separation. Yeah, it's not something, it's just not doing this, it's not asleep. Make sense? It's actually it's a nothingness. But because everybody's in the world of mind and thought and identification, we now have to go over there and use words that point at this. But this is actually nothing. This is when everything's been dropped. It's another word for it's the natural state. We are naturally shiners. This is all luminous. You see that? This is all luminous. And we're luminous too. What stopped that is thoughts, contractions, me, and we shadow up, we layer up. And you can't see that anymore. It's hidden. But it's there. So the first step, most important step, is to realize we're sleeping, right? And then to own that and be, okay, well, put down any heroics and say, okay, yeah, I'm sleeping. Okay. First step. How do I'll sleep? So then it's like, oh, well, it's being more present, isn't it? It's not in the dreams of me or future or past. So then it's like, oh, what techniques can I use to bring me more present? And for each person here, different techniques can work better than another. I can't say I did this. This is what you need to do, and this is how it is, and get the whip out. That's not how it works. Everybody's a little bit different. Everyone's wired a little bit different. So then it's a relationship. Well, if you're doing it with the teacher, if the teacher teaches, if some teachers just teach, here's the gospel, that's it, conform. Others are like, okay, well, let's have a dialogue and see what you like and what you don't like and how you work, and build a toolkit to bring you back into presence more from that. And what do you do during your day? How do you live the world? What's your cycles of life like? Because they're various for everybody too. And so it really is just coming back to presence first, heart-based presence. I mean, you can do it without the heart, but you can end up in a pretty bad, serious place. You got to bring the heart along, in my view. Otherwise, you can be very ruthless, and if it doesn't work out, you can probably turn into a jerk. We got enough of that already. We don't need to keep building them. And so, yeah, it really is finding presence and zero and the mind going quiet. And so how do you facilitate that? And what works best for you that you can do over time without it feeling like this horrendous chore I've got to get up in the morning and do. Like, you don't want it to be like brushing your teeth. It's like drinking a delicious coffee. You're like, yeah, I don't mind doing that. I mean, you want to try and get as close to you can, or, tea, whatever it is you love to do. You want to get as close to that as you can, so you want to keep doing it. But sometimes, for most people, this is going to be an over time game. Everybody wants it instantly because they hear the words, you are what you seek already, don't do any seek, and they're great. Mind goes, yeah, I'll go do that. I'm good enough for that. But the evidence just doesn't show that's working for many people. And you get a lot of delusion happening. Hundreds, thousands of people running around deluded, thinking they're shining, and they're just not, And and then that distorts everything because there's so much information from folks like that. It distorts the whole thing of what this is. So then people come with distorted ideas of what this is, what that is, what you are. And Ramana Maharishi said it. He says, silence. How much silence do you have in a day? I think that's a pretty good measure. I think he's on point there. Not what do you know, not how much do you advertise or whatever. How much silence do you actually experience in a day? And can you even tell? It's like most of humanity can't even tell what silence is anymore. A lot of people, when they start meditating, think they're silent and they're extremely noisy. It takes them a month to realize they're noisy. You know what I mean? So it's case by case, person by person. But so how do you get to silence and stillness? That's the doorway. Which means this is dissolving, isn't it? So this is a natural resting space. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is if you're having successes in your practice, it's really not wise to advertise them. That's what it boils down to. And it's an inward journey. And it's an inward experience. And exporting it out to other people actually draws the power out. You actually leak it. And you want to maintain your power. Not in a negative way, like power in a positive way, right? Personal power. And so whenever you go and advertise any great attainment or anything like this, which I see as a huge mistake, even, when I started waking up with another guy and just had to run around telling everybody he lost it that day. And just shut up is what I recommend. if you're really quiet. Yeah, just stay inwards, stay inwards, stay inwards, because early on, any of that, and even if a little flame starts to happen, you can sense it. It's like, literally, like for me, it was like a little flame in the heart, like a little tiny one, but there was wind everywhere, people, my mind, feelings. So I was just like, okay, I just got to protect this with everything I got. I almost wrapped myself around it, just stay quiet, didn't talk to anybody. Do you know what I mean? Because it was precious to me, because I knew what it was, and I thought, oh, this is the most precious thing there is. It's not locked in. It's don't take risks is more the angle I would say. Risk. It's not locking it in, because it's now and everything's in flux. You can't lock it in. You can't grab it and hold it and lock it in. That's not how anything works. If that's happening and there's a lock-in, it's probably your mind, and now your mind can start hallucinating that, which happens a lot in this game, especially in some of the teachings out there. People start hallucinating depth because they've been doing it so long and they want it so bad, the mind can actually hallucinate a shadow version of it. It's extremely common, and they get very upset if you talk about it, which gives you an indication that's where they're at. And so yeah, just keep it to yourself. I would suggest you do what you like, but that's what I did. It's your progress. It's not anybody else's. And if you're shining so much and other people notice it and you're happy so much and they want to talk about it and ask you questions, and say, oh yeah, I've just been doing this, I've been doing that. But people, you've got to understand how much jealousy is in people. Like, they want that. They want to feel good on the inside, and you're doing it. It doesn't mean they're all going to be happy for you. You have to understand. Some will. If you have really, really good friends, they'll be happy for you and they'll encourage you. There's also the risk that they're not going to be happy for you. Yeah, to deepen it, let the mind go. Does that make sense? So the mind's really, what I'm hearing is the mind might be trying to hijack it. Yeah, so I would suggest, if you're feeling some depth happening, do whatever you can to keep the mind out of it. And just, if the mind wants to start squealing, just, okay, watch it. Just to stay with what you're feeling, is watch it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, these habit patterns have to drop off, isn't it? Yeah, because, yeah, it'll probably take a while to go through all that in this time, so I'll leave it for now. Some things I could just keep going on for an hour, but it's just a little bit too nuanced. It's probably not going to be wide enough to be of value. Yeah. But yeah, if the mind's getting involved, just know that the mind's getting involved, and it's not about the mind. Yeah, the mind's just like a computer, just to calculate things. That's all. And if that's not happening, then leave it alone. And then work out, do I actually need to be calculating all this? Am I over-calculating? Even then, is it just a machine that won't stop, that isn't calculating anything of value? His son's on screen on the little calculator, I'd say. Because I don't think he's got a device. I said, oh, he's on his screen time, is he? He's just pressing buttons on a calculator. It's like that. Don't get enamored with the calculator. AI's got that covered now anyway, isn't it? No matter what you're going to work out, it's got to seem dumb in comparison. It's kind of good in a way if people can see that they can let go of all that now, and not to get self-worth from that. Not saying you're doing that, but on a wider scale, a wider spectrum of this. No one cares what you know anymore. They've got AI in their pocket. Isn't it? For me, even now, I don't. Perhaps my daughter be an exception. I don't tell people anything unless they ask me and they're genuinely interested, because I just know it's not going to be of value or appreciated or understood. I think it was pearls to. It sounds a bit horrific, but pearls to swines was the biblical saying for it. They can't understand it. Why waste each other's time? We can meet in a different place. We can have an ice cream or something. Do you know what I mean? We don't need to. Because I don't need to run around solving everybody's problems. That's not my role. It's if they have a genuine inquiry to come in and find out what I've found, great, let's do it. But if not, it's none of my business. Do you know what I mean? I could tell people how wonderful I feel all the time, but I don't really care. I just want to feel like it, you know? I'm high all the time. It's absolutely off my head all the time. This is quite the act. If there's an actor, it's that. Best drugs ever. They're free. Yeah. It hasn't been for a long time. I have to stretch a bit because my back gets sore. That's just because I've been recovering. I've actually had some major recoveries from impact injuries and things that have all been healing up, and bones remolding and things like that. So it's been quite serious, but good because everything's back to like probably 20s now. It's great, but a bit of pain on the way, amongst bumps and movements. So that's just part of the physical world, and that's okay. You still have pain and different things going on. Yeah. But no. So what is the practice for, really? Like I was saying before, your practice is to get to silence, isn't it? Okay. So then if silence becomes normalized, then what's the practice? Does that make sense? Yeah. But sometimes, you're in a crowded environment and there's thoughts that come through where you sort of just recognize them as things in the ether. And so it doesn't mean there's not something going by, but it's just absolutely no recognition of being identified with it. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's like the car going by, in a way, or bird going by or something.
He's not attached to it.
No. Because attachment, you discover at some point attachment is suffering. And if you haven't worked that out, you'll keep getting pounded with it until you do. It's just how it is. It seems to be like a really good feedback mechanism, like a wonderful mirror. And that's been my experience anyway. Attachment is suffering. It's one of the first things the Buddha said, and I think that's a pretty common statement through all authentic teachings or teachers. And it's really true, and it needs to be heard, and it needs to be understood. So craving and aversion is really just craving. It really is just one thing. It's craving that not being here, and that being here, which is attachment. So there's one craving to leave in place as long as you can, and that's to find out where you are at the deepest level. Yeah, that one's. If you channel all the others into that one, great success. That's a harder task than it sounds. Yeah, because a lot of them are so subtle and you don't even know they're there. So it's as you deepen in, you start to notice more and more. You don't even realise. Your mind goes, yeah, okay, yeah, got it. That's them. All right, that's just that layer. Then there's another layer, and there's another layer, and there's another layer, and there's another layer. It's like, wow, okay, this is serious business. We have a lot. We're very complex. We're very complex. And that's a beautiful thing. It's just we're very complex. Humanity is very complex. Well, I think we've got three brains. We've got a left and right hemisphere that are independent of each other. We've got a reptilian brain. We've got the prefrontal cortex. We've got a lot going on. And a lot of them arguing with each other, This one can't understand this one. No wonder we're a little bit mad. So just to quieten all that down, just sink all that into the heart space. You just get some rest, And as you start to enjoy that rest and more, you get more and more juice to keep doing that. Does that make sense? So it starts looping on itself, and a new thing builds. Okay, that's that it. Unless anyone's got anything else. So, just one more thing. It's just, if you just even just try to sense, like, for me, during the initial wake it was just like there was something behind me, and a space behind me, and a presence behind me the whole time. And if you even just tuning into that, and just even if you can physically sort of just lean yourself back into it sometimes, and just let that envelope you, it's out the bag, and just put your attention on that experience of dropping in. And that's just a nice simple technique of just leaning back into something else than this other thing, not the world, the survival mechanism. And you can start to discover this silence here. No matter how noisy it gets, there's this silence behind everything. It really is. No matter how loud it gets, there's a silence behind it. And that starts to become more and more recognizable, and it gets louder and louder and louder. And silence becomes deafening at some point. It's very beautiful. It's your birthright. There's no, you're not good enough or not good enough. It's just, that's the birthright. It's just, it's something you're going to head towards or not. It really is. Nothing special here. Just a being that did that.